So the problem from yesterday, we're going to kind of do like a split screen type thing. So in your notes, I would like you to write steps for substitution. And over here, I'm going to have the problem. So we're going to kind of label them. I'm going to talk about it. It's going to be all over the place, but hopefully we'll be able to see what's going on.
So you might, on your notes right now, make like a T-chart. You might put a, line across the top and put a line down the middle and have your steps and have the examples to the side. Okay? That way you can look at the steps, you can look at the examples that go with them. Might be a decent way to take notes today.
And we may rewrite the steps to try to make it a little bit clearer because I'm trying to give you as much of a plan of attack as possible. Because yesterday, I think suffice to say, it didn't go well. So, step one. Choose the equation that has a variable, bless you, that has a variable isolated. And we know that isolated means by itself. Okay? So, choose the equation that has a variable isolated. So I'm going to write the step over here, and then we're going to come over and do it. So go ahead and copy down the step. Then we're going to come over, and then we're going to do it. Okay, Seth, I've got two equations. I've got y equals negative 8x plus 19. I've got negative x plus 6y equals 16. The top equation or the bottom equation, which one of those has a variable already isolated? The top. So here's step one. And I'm going to put a little number 1 with it. Okay? Choose the equation that has a variable isolated. Everybody good with me? Okay? Step 2, rewrite the other equation since this is where we will substitute into. So now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to rewrite the equation. Negative x plus 6y equals 16. That is step 2. So rewrite the other equation. Okay? So far, was everybody able to follow along with the steps that I'm writing? Wouldn't be a bad idea. Again, you're going to have your split screen in your notebook. Have it so that you can write down the rules, but also have it so that you can follow along and say, hey, this is my second step. Step 3.
Mr. E.
Yes, ma'am. I'd love to. Yep. I got excited, Ms. Armstrong.
All right, you guys ready to give a thumbs up? You're ready to go on? No? About 15, 20 seconds, guys. And I would in your notes too, on your split screen, make sure you're numbering. So Mr. H has a 1, Mr. H has a 2, so that you can refer back.
Okay, this is where it gets a little bit confusing. This is where you guys had the trouble. Substitute the isolated equation into step 2. Okay, so copy that down, and then I'm going to wait, make sure that we have that, then we'll go over and we'll see what we need to do. So substitute the isolated equation into step 2. Okay. Seth told me this was my isolated equation. Here's step 2. Whenever it says y equals, everything after the equals is going to get substituted in. But for which letter? Cody, which letter is all of this stuff getting substituted in for? For y, because it says y, and here's how I want you to start saying it. Instead of saying y equals, y is negative 8x plus 19. So y is now negative 8x plus 19. So I'm going to rewrite it. Well, we're not changing the x. We're not changing this 6. But we are changing what y is. Y is what, Maddie?
Y is negative 8x plus 19.
So there's step 3. Okay, everybody with me? Step 4. Solve your new equation. So, the warm-up, solving equations. If you have trouble with that, are you going to struggle with this portion? Probably. Probably. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Watch the videos, come in for help, let me help you with it. See if we can get over here so we can see. Wish I had a camera that could cover the whole board. Okay, so when I solve an equation, we're going to distribute. We're going to distribute. And I know that's negative x minus 48x plus 6 times 9 is 4. Carry the 5, 114 equals 16. Okay, all I'm doing is solving my equation. So I distributed. I found my balance point, combining like terms. Negative x. Well, how many negative x's do we have? 1. Negative 1x minus 48 more is negative 49x plus 114 equals 16. And we're still using our rules. So we're combining like terms on opposite sides. So I'm going to subtract 114 from both sides. That's 0, leaves me with negative 49x equals negative 98. Are they bigger numbers? Sure. Negative 49 multiplied by x is multiplication, so we have to use the inverse, which is division. So I divide by negative 49. That leaves me x equals 2. And that, all of this, is step 4. Okay, so we solved that equation. That's important.
So do we have a value for x right now? Okay, so we ended up with a value for x.
Maybe I'll put in this will give you either x or y. Step 5. Oh, actually, thumbs up if you're ready to move on. Okay, keep on working.
You guys are doing an awesome job keeping up and taking notes, being pretty thorough.
Okay. Substitute your answer from step 4 into the original isolated equation from step 1 and solve. So the new rule is substitute your answer from step 4 into the original isolated equation from step 1 and solve. That means I bring down this equation. That's my one from step 1. Y equals negative 8x plus 19. I substitute your answer from step 4 into the equation from step 1, and I solve the equation. So all of this is step 5. And it's all over the place. I know that. Like, there's no way to make this cleaner, nicer, neater unless I had a full length board, and I don't.
No, but they're
Yeah, they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job. And I know you're still copying, but step 6 is the easiest part. Write as an ordered pair. So we've got our rules, we've got our problem. We're going to do one more problem. I'm going to try to see if you can do it on your own. But we're going to follow along with the steps. Okay. Do we have the problem written down? No? Okay. I'm going to even leave the steps up there. Steps are going to stay there for you. Mrs. Armstrong's got your anchor chart. Teamwork.
Next.
Huh? Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody good with the problem itself? Isabel, you good? Okay. So, let's see if the steps will work a second. Let's see if I wrote them well enough that you guys can understand them. If not, we'll change how we word them, that's all. So let's go. 2x minus 3y equals -1. Y equals x minus 1. I would like you to try to get through step 3. That's where we substitute into the new equation. So see if you can get to step 3. Once you've substituted, raise your hand, come over, I'll gladly check it. If you're having trouble, try your best. Talk it over with the people that you're sitting with. But use your notes, use those steps.
I know. I really agree.
What?
I don't know. I didn't think this, but I changed that to 2, right?
Okay, so let's take a look here. So you wrote down the equation real quick. So it's equal to -1. It's 2x minus 3y equals -1. So you have everything right. You just wrote it down wrong. That's all. Here we go. Now we're starting to get it, Miss Armstrong.
It's just the simplest thing.
Okay, can I show you a way to do it? Take another one. So let's start off with -4, right? -3, -1, -2, whatever. It's telling you to subtract another 1. Subtraction goes which direction? I'm not asking you to choose. If I say we're adding 2 things, which way would the numbers go? We get bigger, right? For subtracting, you always get which way? Small. So which way is small? So it's just one this way. You got the answer. Beautiful. See what you got. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. I don't know what the answer is yet, but-
What?
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is.
What did you just call for your ex?
I don't know what the answer is, but it's up to you. Okay. I think we finally got this. I think we've had a breakthrough. Breakthrough, love it. Okay, here we go. I am abundantly pleased. So, let's go with the steps. Step 1, what do I need to circle, Swill?
Y equals X.
Good. Y equals X minus 1 is my first step. Which means step 2 is rewriting the other equation. 2x minus 3y equals negative 1. And Ms. Armstrong, my favorite part about this is nobody substituted in incorrectly. We said y is x minus 1. So we're substituting in for y. And everybody did just that. We substituted in for y. We said x minus 1 equals negative 1. Now, did we have a little bit of trouble solving? A little bit. So we distribute. We distribute. So that gives me 2x minus 3x plus 3 equals negative 1. Still with me here? 2x minus 3x is negative 1x plus 3 equals negative 1. Subtract 3 from both sides. That leaves me with negative 1x equals negative 4. From there, I need to divide by negative 1. X equals 4. Show of hands, who got that one? A bunch of us. Okay, if you made your mistake, do you see where you made a mistake? Peyton. Oh, you're just still raising your hand because you got it right?
Yeah.
Do you see your mistake?
Yeah.
That's all right. So now this is all. So this was step 3 of substitute. This is all step 4 of solve. Step 5, bring this equation back down. Y equals x minus 1. Well, y equals 4 minus 1. That's step 5. And we're going to solve. Y equals 3. Last but not least, put it as an ordered pair. Show of hands, who got that? If you're missing it, do you see where you made your mistakes? Okay.